In this video, I want to share with you the exact steps that I took to manifest a 22-room house while living in one-bedroom flat in Greater London. So I'm sitting and having a coffee, and next to me is a huge bay window with the sunbeams coming inside. It's a lovely sunny day and I can hear the birds chirping, and my coffee is so beautifully brewing in, and I can feel every sip of it in my body, and it's such a beautiful day. Until somebody knocks at the door, and there is a letter for me. It has my name and my husband's name on it. And I open that letter, and all of a sudden, my world just turns upside down. I need to sit down. I need to sit down again. I need to read it properly again. Is it true? Yes, it is. We need to evict this flat in 3 months. We have 3 months to evict that flat. And we are looking to buy our own place. And this is a flat on rent. And the landlord is not happy with us because of various things. Like he's too nosy, he's constantly getting in our business, and when we start to build boundaries, he started to get really crossed with us, and he didn't like the fact that we were setting our own boundaries. He used to come into our house, show up randomly, just start talking things and not respect our privacy and stuff, and he now wants us out. He wants to kick us out within 3 months. When my husband comes home and he sees my face, I can see at 12 o'clock on my face, I'm just not myself. And I tell him that we need to evict this house. He's like, don't worry, you'll be fine. I said, I really want us to have our own place now. I don't want to keep going flats from flats, because if we can rent another flat, the minimum term is 6 months. So I don't want that. I want to move in our own home, my dream home. The home which is huge, which has got huge living rooms where we can hold big parties, which has got so many rooms where we can just live the life. And whenever I think about that room and talked about that room, my vibration just changes. I go in that beautiful world. But you know what? These kind of homes, according to our well-wishers and our friends and family, cost more than $1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million, 3 million. And we are just about affording a rent in our one-bedroom flat. So how will that happen? How? What will we do? And then we start our house hunt. We started to look at the houses. Every house that we see is like, it has a lot of rooms, but it's tiny, it's congested, it's not what I want. And we keep on rejecting it. And the time is ticking, the clock is ticking. We have to find a place. Otherwise we'll be homeless. Like, we're not looking to rent again. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not available. While we are doing that, all of a sudden, one day I'm working in my office, and my husband messaged me and says, have you seen this advert? There is this house which seems like it's not real. It is 2-acre property, and it's got a huge 700-meter garden, like it's a field. And it has like horses, a bird sanctuary, and pool and a pond, and it has got huge rooms, and it seems like a joke, but it's quite close to us. Do you want to have a look? And I'm like, what if this is working? I said, book the viewing as soon as possible. Let's go now. Let's go. So the weekend, we go there, we see that house, and it's that big that I'm telling the realtor, the estate agent, can you please stay with us, because I feel like I'm going to get lost, because my husband and him are walking far, and I'm like, stay with me. I'm going to get lost in this house. It's too big for me. And we're looking at the house. It's like, oh my God, everything that I had in my imagination, it's 100 times it's like heaven on earth. And we made a decision, we want to buy that house. But when we talked about the price and all those things, it's way beyond our affordability. But you know what? You can manifest anything you want. That's what I heard. So let's do this. So I became a version of me. So this is where the secret happens. It's not just about visualizing and dreaming and believing and journaling. It's about identity shift. Big quantum leaps. Manifesting illogical big things requires identity shift. And that's what I'm going to share with you, because once you really get this, you can manifest anything you want. Everything is possible. If I can do this while living in one-bedroom flat, you can do this too, I promise. This is how it works. So I started to realize what parts of me, where is my identity, what version of me doesn't belong to that house, like where, and not see where it doesn't land with my identity. Because our identity is a mental program which is based on our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior, our patterns that controls us 98%. And we operate, think, feel, and act both. Even when you're thinking abundance or you're forcing yourself, our identity is, our mental program is controlling that. What you think, how you feel, how you act. That's why you struggle to operate on that frequency. That's why you struggle to feel it's already yours. That's why I struggle to believe, because your identity does clash with that, because your identity was created when you were little and you were told money is not enough. You have to work really hard. You're not good enough. It's very hard. It's just those rich people who could do that. But when you start to shift your identity and really question things and challenge your beliefs, things change really fast. So your beliefs are manifested in your identity because your identity is who you are and you are based on your beliefs. So I have this powerful tool called Breakthrough Method, which I followed like religiously, and I teach it to my clients. And that's what I use to uncover all my beliefs. Where your body starts talking to you, all your body parts starts to tell you where you have these blocks and limiting beliefs and identities and things that are holding you back, where your throat is telling you that you're not able to express yourself properly, you're not able to talk and tell you what you desire, where your heart tells you that you are not loving yourself enough, you're not loving yourself the way you really want to love yourself, right? So I use these 5 powerful tools where I start to uncover your identity, where I start to really see, how do I really see me? What am I conscious of being? Because your identity dictates what you attract and how you act. You cannot outperform in terms of your attraction, in terms of your thinking, your feeling, your vibration, nor your actions. So I started to uncover, and you know what? I had more than 100 blocks when I uncovered that. And I started to peel them one by one. And I started to reprogram myself and became a version of me who lives in that house now. While I was living in 1-bedroom flat, and because I did the identity work, I could stay and in that vibration all day long because I was reclaiming my truth. I was reclaiming who I really was. So the truest version of me is a match for that house. Yes, that's what I really am. And when you step into your truth, you don't need to visualize. You are that. You're visualizing that 24/7 because that's your reality. So you know what? You're actually visualizing all the time. It's just you want to visualize what you want. But when you do the identity work, you're on autopilot visualizing your truth, what you want, your desire. You're on that frequency 24/7 without forcing, without disciplining yourself. And that's what you want. So I started to do that. I became a version of me. And you know what started to happen? I started to act confident at work. I started to feel more empowered. I started to take decisions from a different place. I started to feel more intelligent, more smart. I was good at negotiations. I started to hit incredible targets. I started to reach 1 million savings, which was incredible target for my job. And I got promoted not only once, but 3 times. And I went to a senior manager in my company and my salary just skyrocketed. And when you're on that frequency, the good news is you don't just attract from yourself, but you attract from everywhere around you through other people. And guess what? My husband started to have his own business and he became a consultant. So from working for somebody, he became his consultant, a self-employed, and he'd 5x his income within a month. And you know what? When we did that, we literally had the exact amount of money to get the mortgage, to be able to be qualified for the mortgage of that huge mansion that we were the match of. Because when you start to allow yourself and stop getting in your way and become that version of you and activate that version of you, operate like that version of you, think like that version of you, feel like that version of you, you are a match. That thing is inevitable because you're on that frequency. You're vibrating like that. You're operating like that. But it doesn't come from just visualizing or affirming. It comes from the paradigm shift. And then we went to the estate agent and we said, yes, we are ready to buy that place. And he said, but I'm sorry, another developer, a huge developer, has already placed the offer and he's buying that. So you don't have a chance. But you know what? When you're on the frequency, it's inevitable. And I knew that. I still held that. I still knew deep down that it's mine. I lived there in my imagination all day long. But how could I live there in my imagination all day long? Because that was my truth, because I did the identity work, right? So when coaches tell you, just visualize, just do that, just do these things, and they don't work for you, it's because there is a part of you, there's an identity which is not aligned. And it's about breaking through. That's what we do in my breakthrough system using this powerful 5 tools. You break through to your truth. You have to break through because that's who you really are. You were born that way. And then we got a call after a few weeks that their deal just fell through and the seller is really desperate to sell. Are you still interested? We were like, yes, we are interested. We placed the offer. It got accepted. And then, the didn't have the money for the deposit because the deposit was not a little money. It was $250,000. That was a deposit. And you know what happened? Law of attraction was still working. Law of attraction was still working. And my husband found out that he has invested some shares in a company. The shares skyrocketed like crazy. And we got the exact amount of money from the shares. And until now, we have this house for a while. Those shares have never skyrocketed that much. Those shares never skyrocketed that much ever again. Can you imagine? When you're on the right frequency, the whole universe have to shift to deliver you what you desire. But the question is, are you a match? Are you the version of you who is a match? You already are a match. You were born the match. You just haven't seen it yet. You have to see it. You have to remember who you are. And then we had the money to pay for the deposit. We exchanged keys. And you know what? Then we had money from our new job, like for increased salaries. Then we had a beautiful trip to Rome to celebrate manifesting such a beautiful house. So not only was we manifested a house, but we manifested a beautiful trip. And then we started our life in that house. And now we are growing as a family. We're having the time of our life. And talking about it feels like I've just manifested it, because it was a miracle. But you know what? When you're on the right frequency, you're just a match of miracles. And when I'm talking about it, I feel like, oh, yes, it happened. It happened. And it can happen for you too. Once you start to step on your truth and uncover what parts of you don't support it, peel them off like the labels, and peel them off and release them. Start to see who you really are and reprogram yourself and solidify that identity in your body. And I have a whole step-by-step framework that I do that, which I'm going to share in my videos as well. And I teach that in Wealth Fountain, where it's so powerful because I've got all the tools. I show you every step of the way while I hold your hand to do that. Because once you shift your identity and claim it, you are running on autopilot anyway. So you don't even have to think what you're doing. You on autopilot, your subconscious mind is taking you through the path of least resistance. So you will do whatever is required. Things will come your way and you'll act on them. Things will come your way and act on them. And it'll be so autopilot that once you look back, you'll realize you are exactly there. Because your manifestation is meant to happen by law. When you're on the right frequency, when you're on the match. I'll see you there. Bye.